Hello बच्चों, let's see the question. So the question says the term molecular scissors generally refers to. So इन चार options में से हमें वो identify करना है जिसे molecular scissors के नाम से भी जाना जाता है. So the key concept in this question is to understand what are restriction endonucleases. So restriction endonucleases are enzymes that can cleave DNA at specific sites. So restriction endonucleases can cut DNA or snip a section of DNA into two fragments. So therefore restriction endonucleases are also known as molecular scissors because restriction endonucleases act like scissors that can cut the DNA into two fragments, or they can snip the DNA into two fragments. Now they are known as molecular scissors because they cut the biomolecule DNA. Now the restriction endonuclease recognizes a specific nucleotide sequence which is known as the recognition site. So once the restriction endonuclease recognizes the recognition site, then it can cleave the DNA by cutting the DNA at a specific site. So now if we see an example, then Echo R1 is a type of restriction endonuclease. Now Echo R1 can recognize the recognition site GAATTC and its complementary sequence CTTAAG. So this is the recognition site which is recognized by the enzyme Echo R1. Now this is a restriction endonuclease and therefore it will cleave the DNA into two fragments by cutting the DNA at this site and this site. Therefore they act like molecular scissors and cut the DNA into two fragments at this recognition site. So now if we come back to the options, then the first option is DNA polymerase. So DNA polymerase does not cut the DNA, but it is responsible for catalyzing the synthesis of a new DNA strand. So this will be incorrect because they are not molecular scissors. The second one is RNA polymerases. So RNA polymerases are responsible for the synthesis of new RNA strand from a DNA template, and they are not responsible for cutting the DNA into two fragments, and therefore they are not referred to as molecular scissors. So again, this is incorrect. The third option says restriction endonucleases. So this is the correct option because restriction endonuclease cleaves the DNA or cuts the DNA at specific sites, and therefore they can be referred as molecular scissors. And the fourth option says DNA ligases. Now DNA ligases are also not the answer because DNA ligases are responsible for joining the two DNA fragments and not cutting the two DNA fragments, and therefore they are not molecular scissors. Therefore, the final answer for our question is option 3, that is restriction endonuclease are the enzymes which are also referred as molecular scissors. So this is our final answer. Hope you understood this well. Best of luck. Thank you.